New York, and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
I know today is tough for me, and I think pretty much everyone on the show as we try to grapple with the tragedy that took place yesterday with the passing, the untimely death of Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players and sports figures the world has ever seen. Rosenberg and I were trying to frame what loss in our world we could parallel this with. You know, is it like when Prince passed away and it was just shock? Someone in the room brought up Princess Diana. It was we talked about the passing of Michael Jackson. You know, I was on, you know, I've been on the radio for many, many years. So I was on the radio when Aaliyah passed and Pac and Big. But, you know, those deaths were big in my world of culture and hip-hop and R&B. Kobe Bryant is an international superstar. And you know, in some of passings that we may remember and have lived through, individuals became known after their passing, right? Kobe Bryant was entering the second phase of his life, man. As, you know, after basketball. He had just recently won an Oscar for a short film. He was, you know, becoming known for being his daughter's basketball coach and mentor. Like, you know, moving into, you know, people had talked about him being a WNBA or NBA executive. You know, just becoming someone who we know for basketball and delivering us, you know, night after night of phenomenal play on the basketball court. This person was entering the second phase of his life. And as Rosenberg said earlier on the show, Rosenberg, you said the life that he lived up until now was phenomenal when we look back at it.
I mean, because naturally our thought is, you're right, he's 41 years old, right? Like, I'm 40. Obviously, I think about it and go, your life's just getting started. You have so much more to do. But there is a joy in thinking he kind of lived 100 lifetimes, you know, and he had a lot more to do. He had that animation company. He was doing these amazing things. And
you know, that's us. But you know what you're saying right there is important. And I know you was flowing. I don't mean to cut you, but I just want to point out to the audience, you know, we could be on this radio being angry and being frustrated at the reality of the human existence and being robbed and feeling, you know, selfish about the loss of Kobe Bryant. But, you know, I want to reserve that for his wife and his other children. The rest of us, I think, can do a great service by celebrating his life.
Because we did get so much. We were given so
everything.
much. So much joy came from how many people listening right now. How many late night Thursdays were you watching TNT on the 10:30 game as Kobe went off against Sacramento or Phoenix or Golden State? I mean, he did so much for so long. The All-Star game in Philadelphia when they were booing him because he was from there, but he never played there. He had so many moments that were so iconic that we all got to share. And as sad as it is, and it's awful, he lived such an incredible superhero-like life. And Ebro, one thing I think we should mention is Kobe had an incredible intellectual curiosity. He was not just a ball player. You know, Kobe spoke fluent Spanish and Italian. Kobe was incredible.
They said he even could flex some Serbian too.
Oh, Slovenian?
Slovenian.
He was an incredibly worldly individual. He was very interested in so many different things. He supposedly loved to get. He supposedly had a knack. I heard an interview yesterday with someone who knew him well. He supposedly had a great knack for getting people on the phone who were incredible in their field. Like he would find a way, you know, he would find a connection. And obviously, who doesn't want to talk to Kobe Bryant? So he would find a way to get a Martin Scorsese on the phone. He wanted to just talk to Steve Jobs. He just wanted to talk to brilliant people. and pick their brains because he was so interested in general worldly things. You know, he was way more than a basketball player. Ebro, he tried being a rapper. You know, obviously we sort of laugh at it now.
No, man, look, man, we're gonna focus on basketball, man.
And then he started. Then he finishes, and with so many people, everyone goes, "Oh, what are they going to do after their basketball career?" He jumped right into this animation company and wins an Oscar out of the gate.
The only professional athlete to do so.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yo, Kobe was, you know, I gotta say this for people who really put and give their life to, you know, a profession or a journey, and all the families who are supporting someone that, you know, they feel, you know, you feel like that person you love is giving everything they have every day to a goal they're trying to achieve. That's not, you know, necessarily, you know, just being a great family member. It's a professional journey. You know, Kobe Bryant set out to be better than Michael Jordan, right? First it was, I'm going to play like Michael Jordan. And that's what he was doing. Like, when you watch him play, he was playing like Michael Jordan.
Sure was, in so
Then
many
it
ways.
became, I want more championships, which he never got that achievement. But he got scoring titles and other accolades in basketball that were either on par or more than Michael Jordan did, right? And then it was after, a lot of times, like you said, athletes, they get to the end of their career and people are like, what are you going to do? He accepted that challenge. You understand? With a smile. You articulated earlier, you saw him courtside with his daughter recently, and he was at peace. He was joyous, loving life. To leave professional sport and still have your mental capacity and still have your physical, you know, wherewithal to be with your children and with your family and support your daughter's basketball dreams and be a loving husband and father. And, you know, not everybody gets that, and he was on that journey. And that's one of the saddest things I believe about this whole story is, you know, while we can celebrate the life that he had, there was this other life that was about to be, you know, greater than that life, which is the true, you know, success to me, is when you get to work hard and you get to gift it to your legacy. You know, you get to gift it to your family because they were there with you. You know what I'm saying? And they fought with you. You know, they weren't on the court with you, but when you get home and there's love in the house, and it ain't necessarily love based on your accomplishments that you do at work, it's just love because you are, that Kobe had that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, when you think about him and Vanessa went through being together since they were 17 years old, that's 24 years.
Yeah.
Plus, they had the very public scandal. Remember the whole diamond ring? There was all this stuff that happened in front of our eyes.
It was a lot.
You know, a lot of trials and tribulations. And here they were. They just had another child. And Ebro, you mentioned it. When I was in LA last time, I got tickets to the Mavericks-Lakers game on a Sunday. You know, the Lakers always play Sunday home games at the Staples Center. And I was fortunate enough that someone at ESPN got me great seats that I never would have been able to get on my own. And I walked in, and we sit down. I'm like, oh, man, second row, this is crazy. Oh, my God, got to put it on the gram, time to flex, blah, blah, blah. In walks Kobe and his daughter, and they sit in the seats right in front of us. And from that moment on, I kind of watched the basketball game, but I was really, you can't help but be like, oh, man, that's Kobe's right there. It's Kobe. And I was taken by how happy he seemed. Like how much he was smiling and how much he had his arm around his daughter and he was focused and explaining things. And then as people would come up and greet him, from LeBron James to Rich Paul to Luka Doncic, all the different people that were coming up, people from the Lakers, everyone coming to greet him,
right,
and him introducing his daughter, this little 13-year-old, as she would shake everyone's hand, and he was like treating her like a grown-up, like you're with dad at the game. And the beautiful part is Kobe, his first year away from basketball, only went to one Lakers game. He had not come back a ton. He was starting to come back now because Gianna turned 13 and she was very interested and good and curious about basketball. So now Kobe got a chance with one of his kids because his eldest daughter wasn't that into it.
Right.
And now his second oldest daughter was really in.
Yeah.
So they had this bond of like, let's go to games together. And it was just such a beautiful thing to see them in their glory. I thought, what a life this guy lives now. He's rich. He's got his family. He gets to come sit courtside and feel the love from everyone. He seems so appreciative of it, you know?
Laura, did you see the clip of Kobe on, I think it was on Kimmel recently. And I think Kimmel was asking Kobe just about his daughter playing basketball. And Kobe started to tell a story about people walking up to him on the street and saying to him, man, when you going to have a son so somebody could carry on your legacy? And he said his daughter would be right there with him, his 13-year-old, Gianna. And she would say, I got this. Like, I can carry on my father's legacy. Like, she was leaning into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read about that.
I posted a picture on my IG of Gianna standing on the court like they was in a game, and she was pointing to the playboard, the clipboard, showing her father it looked like she was either analyzing a play that he wanted her to run or telling him what play she thought they should run. Like it's beautiful. There's so much beauty in this story, and I know our human, the way our mind works, man, we're gonna focus on the pain and the tragedy, and that's cool. It's cool, but there's also some beautiful learning around, fathers, daughters, husbands, family, cherishing one another, and also the humility that we all need to have when it comes to this life.
I think that's what makes it so painful too, Ebro, because it was so beautiful, the fact that he was so connected into pushing his daughter and believed in her so much. And, and with the academy that he had, when I was looking through the other people who died, and it was coaches, it was fathers, wives, other daughters. He had everyone together pushing and uplifting them to make sure that these girls who wanted to play basketball had that opportunity and allowed them to feel equally important.
Yeah, man. Just, you guys, we're not the boss. I've been saying it all morning. I have a habit of trying to simplify things that are, nuanced and complicated, and it's probably, sometimes doing things a disservice, and I hope I'm not doing that by just saying this is one of those situations that it reminds us that we aren't the final say-so in how stories get told and how they end. And there should be some humility in that. Because on a day like today where we all have to figure out a way to come together, remember a great athlete, somebody who became a great human being in front of us. We were watching Kobe Bryant since he was, 18 years old?
17, yeah.
17 years old?
Drafted at 17, yeah.
Straight to the NBA?
Yeah.
So, when Kobe was young, did he have a chip on his shoulder? Yeah. Most teenagers do that have, that are thrust into the spotlight and competing against, grown-ass men. There's a lot of insecurity and fear there, and he rose to the occasion. 5 rings, 3 with Shaq, 2 with a different squad. And then we watched his body, say enough is enough when the Achilles blew out and he tried to come back from the Achilles injury, and then that final year where it was basically like his victory lap. I felt like that last game that he had, it was at the Staples Center, right? When he scored 61, I think it was.
60 in his last game?
60, yeah.
Yeah. The idea that he did that, by the way, was insane.
I think he took 100 shots and nobody played defense. But still,
No, but he had struggled all year, and for him to dig up that 60-point game at the end to close his career with 60
and hit the game winner.
and
that
it was insane. The level of pressure. You know how many people were in the building that night? It was literally filled with every star in Los Angeles, and he dropped 60.
And if you remember, that wasn't even on main ESPN. That was on ESPN2. ESPN1 was playing Golden State because they were going for 73 that night.
Oh yeah,
And
they were up
everybody-
at 73. That's
and
right.
everybody said, whoa, Kobe's at 40. So the channel started switching. Oh, he's at 50. Oh, he's at 60.
I don't remember that.
You know, and don't forget, in 2007, Kobe had a 4.50 game streak.
Yes.
You know, people not named Wilt Chamberlain don't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people in the modern era don't score 65, then 50, then 57, and then in the fifth game when the streak ended, he scored 43. But I mean, he was
Crazy.
He was an absolutely dominant player and lockdown defender. I mean, don't forget, it's not just scoring with Kobe. He was an obsessive and aggressive defender as well. He was just so damn good, man. He was such a killer.
So wherever you are today, you know, when you're in your office chair or, you know, you crumble up a piece of paper and you see a garbage can, you know what I mean? Hit that game-winning Kobe fall away. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's done it in the office. Everybody's done it in your office chair. The lean back, the office chair fall away, lean back, and you just shout Kobe and leave your hand in the air. You know what I mean? Do that one time, man. We say rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. And, you know, wherever you are today, hug a loved one because life is fragile, and we're not the boss. It's Hot 97.